All right, we're gonna go live here on RSG One Mic. It's tis the season. You know, folks. Everybody. Handles this. I don't know if it's Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, however you want to flow. Happy Merry Christmas, or all whatever energy you feeling on this holiday season. I feel good. I'm wearing one of the gifts I got from my part. She came through. She came with the Franco, so I got to feel the spirit. As we get into our early part of our show. But I got to bring in my co-hosts who make this fun. And what we try to do is bring our chat life to the real life energy in here. So we thank y'all all for checking us out on realsportsguys.com, or if you're catching us on YouTube or wherever you're catching us, we appreciate it. But let me bring my guys in. Let me start with my man Hammer down there hanging in the ATL. Your feet a little bit warmer than mine.
Yeah, bro, it's great to be in ATL, man. So great to be with family. This is my home away from home. So, and ironically, I'm in my my late maternal aunt's room where she passed away. So it's deep here. I feel her presence.
Mm.
Great woman, really contributed to betterment of people, betterment of our family, and I'll give a shout out, just an ode to her on this episode of Real Sports Guys. Definitely on mic. So yeah. So
Hey, man, thank you for sharing, man, brother. We know we with you. These are difficult times, especially, it's difficult anytime, but especially around this time of the year is difficult. And I know you there supporting folks, and you're being supported. It's good to be around family this time of year. And speaking of my family, uh, my man Darnell Kirkland Jr., how you doing, man? The young prodigy, the man who's putting it all together. Trying to bring
Yeah,
it. Every time I talk to him, I'm learning something new.
yeah, I'm doing well. I mean, enjoying a day off finally.
Oh yeah.
a day off. Well, yeah, we got a chance to work with some of the players today. So we had a good time. But yeah,
Yeah, you
just
you
put
was you was putting some work in, man. That was a good conversation, and like all the stuff that you're doing, that and being in a space where they can also see some of the top players working in that space. Some of the folks we might even talk about in our segment on signing day. You get
yeah,
a chance to see them working out when your players can see what it takes to get to the next level. So that's some great work, man. And people don't understand like the time that you have to put in, because you want to do it, but that's time that you coming off a long day of work, or you coming off a long weekend of work, or you coming off like that. But I can hear your voice; it's just energizing you. So I know this is where championships are won, man. All right, so we gonna get in. I'm wearing the jersey. It was a big weekend in Pittsburgh. They're honoring Franco Harris, and growing up, people growing up in southeastern Michigan. At that point, it was the 313, wasn't 734 yet. So we were all in it. And people ask me why I wasn't a Lions fan. It wasn't that I wasn't a Lions fan, but the Lions, as you know, if you've been one, they break your heart. And as a young person, I got to the point where I can't stand it no more. But I always liked the Steelers. And Franco was one of the cats I liked, along with Mean Joe Green. And they had planned to honor him as part of remembering kind of the Immaculate Reception, which really launched the Steelers into their run of Super Bowls. And so I know he was excited and passed away earlier in the week. And they honored them not only with a halftime, but with another Steeler victory. Mike Tomlin, keeping alive, his string of winning seasons. But it was quite an event in the way that they played and the energy on a very cold day in Pittsburgh. I'll go to you, Hammer. You someone, we're in that same generation. As the Steelers honor Franco, man. Give you a few minutes to reflect on Franco, as well as you had a great running back in Chicago, and that whole group of running backs.
yes, sir. No, even though obviously I was a Bear fan, I had much respect for the Steelers and really the iconic nature of the team. You look at really draft analysis. The Steelers are really the gold standard that people followed. They hit on like every pick basically. It was amazing when these 12 round drafts. So Franco passing away is really sad. I saw some of the posthumous interviews that he did before. Obviously he passed away, and it was sobering to see that the Nate Burleson interview, as well as other things he's done. But Steelers did their thing; they won it for Franco. That's the bottom line. So they took care of business, and very proud of them. Very proud of Brother Tomlin as always. He's a gold standard as well as far as coaching and as far as being a leader. Forget about coach; he's a leader of men. Uh, through the trials and travails of life in general. This happened to be football, but he's just again someone I admire deeply as someone who is a true leader, a true goal standard, a true again leader and innovator in his space. So and really a role model for us as African Americans, regardless of what you do. So.
What's amazing about him, and this is a little past he a little past Darnell's time, so they didn't really do it. But if you want to reflect, we'll give you a check. I know that there's some generational things, but the one thing I appreciate about what people talked about, you even hear Ryan Clark and everything else, and this is what when you talk about culture, um, it's having people around your organizations. You see this in all like these really solid organizations. The presence of these greats around the organization, and they don't just take you. They're not really talking about taking you back to the good old days. One of the things you could hear from some of these current players is the way in which he tried to breathe life in who they are at the present. Like remind them that they're great. Like really, not saying this is what we used to do back in the old days, which sometimes I'll get caught up in. Youngin got to remind me that's too far along. Pioneer's not where it used to be. But the way in which he really breathed life into who they are in terms of what they do today, and you can feel that whether it's current players or people who recently left, and have that importance of having that connective tissue around and having that person who kind of held the legacy. Even this weekend, he used to host, a get together gathering with the Raiders and the Steelers, and in a way in which he create bonds and stuff like that. So it's that having those kind of people who build bridges as well. That's not easy to do. When you kind of come to terms with your own legacy, and that seemed to be his ability to just like really pour into others. I like to bring the generational perspective in, so I want to bring you in, youngin. I know this wasn't part of your decade, but we always want to give voice to y'all.
Yeah, just want to pay more respect to Franco Harris. The guy, Hall of Fame player. Obviously, like you said, he's a little bit before my time. I said I never seen him play. I never seen him play live, obviously, but I have seen some highlights, and one highlight in particular is a highlight that's going to be in every highlight package. We're talking about the history of the NFL, and that's going to be the immaculate reception. And you can't. And from that, and with that being said, you can't tell the history of football without Franco Harris.
That's it. You can't tell the history of football without Franco Harris. So, I'm gonna put my love out there, my respect. Wearing Franco with me and keeping with me throughout the duration of this show. Um, wow, we had something on Christmas Day, y'all. So there's a lot happening. Christmas Day, one of the things that was really interesting about this one is that, I mean, the NBA is catching they're catching some fire a little bit here. I think their ratings, it was a ratings juggernaut on Christmas Day as well. They saw pretty good ratings from what they were saying. So, basketball get up and go down with it. As we were talking early on before Christmas Day, we weren't quite sure what games were going to be what, right? Um, but when I turned on, I was out running around. When I turned on and saw that the Warriors, after all that junk Morant was talking, took the beat down, and my man Hot Sauce, he's a Michigan player, but my man Hot Sauce went off for 30 because I had already been I've been a little bit down on my young man. He got paid. I know he got an altercation, but he went for 30 or something like that. I was like, woo, okay. And then the Joker, 40-point triple double. Joker hit a shot with the clock going down from the left side. Looked at the clock, spun to the baseline, and did a move like one of my former professors, John Junk. We used to call him the point center. It looked like he just went one leg up, old school, like at the gym, the kind of stuff that make young guys put their head down when they run back down the court. He hit that thing at the. It was some good basketball in there, but I want to get y'all take on your Christmas Day viewing. I'll start with you, Darnell.
Yeah, I think there's something in every game that I could enjoy. Starting with the first game, Joel Embiid. I
Woo!
took the group chat. The game is so easy to Joel Embiid. Like you watch it, and like he doesn't seem like he's trying obviously, but
Yeah.
sometimes he just plays at that pace where he do what he want to do, and then you have to double team because if it is nobody 1-on-1 that's just going to stop Joel Embiid, you got to double team, and then James Harden got into it, so that was nice to see.
James
He
got in his bag, didn't he?
yeah.
Woo.
And
Woo.
Korkmaz, they kept leaving Korkmaz, but you got to
Yeah.
leave somebody the way they was going at it. You got to leave somebody. But Korkmaz, he had a stretch. He had like 5 straight threes. And Uncle
Mm.
John was like, why they keep leaving this bum open? Man,
Ah,
Uncle John, man, he was hitting everything. No, it wasn't Korkmaz. It was Jordan Yang. That's why I had to
yeah.
look at. That's why I had to
Yeah.
look at Uncle John. I'm like, you should know who Jordan Yang is. He played at Iowa State. He was a
Yeah.
baller back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah,
Oh.
every game has something to look at. Like even the game where everybody was like, "Oh, this game ain't gonna be nothing." With the Mavericks and the Lakers, like LeBron turned the he boy when he was in the game, he turned back the hands of time. He was over there giving folks the business, but then he as soon as he sit down, it
It's a
was it
wrap.
wasn't a contest.
Yeah,
It wasn't a
it
contest.
like LeBron put that icy hot on, did all
Yep.
the necessary stretching before the game, and he's like, "I
Man.
got one in me. I'm at to rest in this next game." But with
Yep.
all the lights on, I'm gonna let y'all know who I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
LeBron. You got on Hammer. I know you was over there hanging out with DAW watching
Yeah,
basketball,
yes, sir.
food flowing, everything else. I know you was feeling good. I know y'all had a lot to talk about. But what was your highlight?
Oh, it definitely was a Laker game. It's really sad to see how inept the Lakers are, especially shooting, and just the poor personal decisions that Rob Pelinka has made that really hurt the ball club, from Gabriel Caruso, KCP, Kuzma, really destroying their perimeter, any sense of perimeter game. And sadly, with street clothes AD not checking in again, it's just a sad scenario where LeBron, again showed the defied father time again. Except got the icy out, got the grit out, but you know the bottom line is that you 1-on-5 ain't gonna win in the NBA. So he ain't that good. Even Jordan can do 1-on-5. So the bottom line is they gotta, the trades they're talking about for Turner and Buddy Hield. Forget Turner, Buddy Hield. That's what they need. They gotta get shooting. I mean, Russ is nice off the bench as a microwave, kind of like a modern Vinny Johnson for Piston fans, coming off the bench and creating shots in the mid range and using his athleticism and not selling for the three. But it just the rest of them, Austin Reeves is a nice player, but the rest of them you got to be
I
careful.
like Bryant, man. I thought they shouldn't got
Yeah,
rid of him in the
Bryant's
first
a good
place. I
player
like
too.
Bryant.
He's a good player.
He
He can
wasn't
shoot the three, man. I
playing
watched
He
him
can
at
shoot the three, but
when he
again, it's just like they're
so
very few that can, man. It's really, I mean, they're playing basketball like it's in the '70s when there wasn't a three ball, so it's pitiful. I mean, it literally like they just cannot shoot the three, and just also outside shooting is poor, and
but
really at the,
how much of that so I see they got some better 3-point shooters on the floor, but how much of that is the style of play, man? I sometimes watch LeBron and he bang it all the way to the end. And with some of these players, they're gonna play better with the ball rotating and moving.
yeah,
When
yeah.
the clock's
LeBron's too
going
ball
down,
dominant. He's too
how
ball
many
dominant.
3-point shots are taken with like 3 seconds left on the clock
Too many. Yeah,
versus
he's too
people
ball
getting
dominant. He's too
yeah,
ball
he's
dominant,
ball
and
dominant.
yeah, he's too ball dominant. They need to have a true point guard that would take away, make him. I think LeBron, he likes to be ball dominant. LeBron's better off the ball because he's unguardable when he's off the ball and going to the hoop. But sadly, because of again the lack of talent by again Michigan's own Rob Pelinka.
I can't blame it on Rob though.
I
LeBron
can
is
blame it
hard.
on Rob. If I can, he let Caruso go.
LeBron
He
wanted
let
it.
Caruso
Who
go.
argued?
He let
Who wanted to
KCP
make the
go. He let
trade?
Kuzma
That
go.
was
No,
LeBron.
you blame.
You think
Yeah,
Pelinka was going out trying to get Rust?
man, he tried. He didn't
Who
get
wanted
nothing.
Russ?
That was
I don't know
a
how.
hey.
How did that narrative
I
change,
disagree
Darnell?
on. I
Yeah,
disagree on every
he
point.
didn't get DeMar. He didn't get DeMar. DeMar
You made your point.
was
I
still
got to hear
signed
what
delivered, man.
let
DeMar
me
was
hear
still
what
signed
Darnell
delivered.
said. You already made your point. Darnell, what you
I
said? You
I
disagree.
disagree on every point.
Yes.
First, it was LeBron's idea to bring in Russ. Yeah, but the problem isn't that LeBron's too dominant. LeBron got to do what he got to do. Ain't nobody on the team shoot. He has to attack in the paint. And I disagree that he needs a point guard. LeBron's the best point guard in the NBA. He's the best
He's
point guard
38
in the
years
NBA.
old. He's 38 years old.
LeBron James is the
He's
best
38
point
years
guard
old.
in the
No, he's
NBA.
38 years old. He needs to have a point guard.
He
But
needs
I don't
spacing
mind.
around him.
The point guard
The
gets less
formula
wear and
for
tear.
LeBron has never changed. The formula for LeBron has never changed.
It needs to
He
change. I
needs
mean, that's
floor
an
spacing.
indictment. That's
He
your
needs shooters,
statement indictment on
and he
LeBron
needs
because
Where I
and
want to
has
he
to
put the
needs
adjust.
camera on
one
it.
guy
Everyone has to
that can
adjust.
All gotta
attack.
grow. We all gotta grow. I've watched LeBron. I'm not mad with him handling playing the point guard role, but you got to do it in continuity, right? And I think one of LeBron's challenges has been his ability to embrace young players. It's one of those things where he always feels like you got to have experience. Kuzma should not be sitting over there. Kuzma's averaging like 20 something a game. It's like you got to work through some of those things, and the inability to integrate young players is, I think that's one of the things that LeBron got to figure out how to do. But the other thing is you could be ball dominant, which he can do, but you got to get in the flow. And if I'm always getting the ball with 2 seconds on the clock and rushing it with somebody coming at me, that ain't how it's gonna work right now. We gotta get a little bit more motion in it, meaning that you can pat and set up, but let's kick it so we can kick it again and get a good shot. Let's make the move at 10 rather than at 5. Let's make the move at 12. Like it's that level of role. But I see cats rushing shots at the end of the clock too much. And so they gotta figure something out. I don't, I, but I'm not gonna blame all that on Pelinka because they all wanted it, and then they got Genie to be okay with it. And if I'm
Man,
sitting there and I'm telling
sometimes you
Genie,
gotta say no,
that's
D
what we
Wills. I don't
doing.
care who he is. Sometimes you gotta say no. Jared Krause said no to
But
MJ. Sometimes you gotta say no. Sometimes you have the guts to say no.
If the
And
owner, if your
go back
boy
to maybe
Rise,
go back to
but if
being smart.
Reinsdorf said yes, it's gonna
He's a
hold it.
terrible GM.
But if
He's a terrible
Reinsdorf
GM.
vetoed it, it's
He's a
who's gonna
terrible
win?
GM.
If Reinsdorf
Again,
vetoes, who winning? If
again, you
Reinsdorf
have
said
to
yeah, who's gonna
decide.
win that
You
one?
have to decide. You have to decide what battles you want to fight. And again,
What I'm
having
saying is,
no
if
shooters,
Reinsdorf says this, what we gonna do? What you gonna do?
you're gonna do what Reinsdorf say. You're gonna be gone. But
That's
again,
right.
that's not.
So
But
so if Genie's like we gonna do it, then what he gonna do?
well, again, he can go back
Even though
to
he know it's
being
a
a
bad
sports agent.
idea.
Who's a much better
Look, man, did he go
profession.
to did he go to like business school, law school? Like Palinka
Yeah, he
smart.
went to law school. I think with Harvard,
He
MB,
not gonna
JD,
just do that.
brilliant guy.
You know
He's a
that.
brilliant guy. He's a
You
brilliant
know
guy.
that.
I mean,
I don't know
but
how this guy LeBron out there. But let's go to the other thing. Memphis.
yeah,
One of the losers got to be. Jordan was talking about that smoke, wasn't they? It was hot.
yeah, they were. And Desmond Bain came out
Youngin, I
talking
know
about
you got some. You said something in the summer. Ja was talking on. They were talking on that junk in the summer, and then they let Jordan, hot sauce pool, who I was critical. I was like, you got that money, man. You got to perform. He did his thing. What do you say about John Morant? I mean, it's middle of season, but some games mean more than others on Christmas Day. So what do you think, Darnell?
Well,
I know you got something
I'm
on
not
this.
I'm not worried about the Grizzlies at all. This game showed me way more about the Warriors than it did about the Grizzlies. Because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to throw dirt on the grave and say, "Oh, the Warriors are they done? They got to trade Wiseman. They got to get rid of the young guys and bring in a vet." No, I keep telling you guys over and over and over again. They just coasting. You watch any big game. The Warriors the champs show up. The champs show back up. They showed up when Boston came into town. They showed up when the Grizzlies came into town. It's going to happen every time there's a big game.
I just think
But
the West is tougher, man.
they'll
You
lose. They'll
you
lose
gonna
to the
show up
Hornets.
and get nothing but the overhand right. I think you're gonna show up
Who?
if you
Who?
in the wrong slot. Denver,
Who?
any
The
one of these
Warriors?
teams.
The Warriors?
Yes.
The only team that could beat the Warriors is the Nuggets. That's the only team that can beat them.
Nah, I watch
That's
the
the
Warriors. Their problem is they're
only
not
team.
defending on the road. Look, the
Yeah,
things you could
they're
I'm
always
telling
count
you,
three
on
and
Warriors is
three
that's
first
and
the
defense.
12 on the
regular
road.
season.
Pitiful.
That's not the real Warriors. And that's
Warriors
what
have
I'm telling
always
you.
played great
When
defense
it's
in the
time
regular season.
when it's time for the playoffs to start, they're gonna be playing championship level defense. Watch.
You just don't wake
Watch.
up. See, that's the stuff people said about that
Wiggins
team, that Laker
when Wiggins
team,
comes back,
way
you
back in the
gotta
day when they
realize
played the Pistons.
who was
They
the
gonna
best
play championship
on
defense.
ball defender in the playoffs last year? Who was the best on ball defender in the playoffs last year?
But
It was
but
Andrew
but
Wiggins.
but
Andrew
but
Wiggins
Yeah.
shut Jason
Who's out?
Tatum's
Who's
cover
out?
up.
Who's out? Who's out right now? Who's hurt?
I'm
but
telling you,
hold it.
when the playoffs start, it's going to be a different story.
But weren't the Warriors a
They
good team?
don't flip the
different
switch
story.
like that, Darnell. Come on, man.
Yes,
They
he
don't flip the
can.
switch. They're
Yes, they
pitiful
can.
on the road. They're
They
pitiful on
will.
the road.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right
That's
now,
because they don't care.
people
They
aging
don't
before your
care.
eyes.
They
You know,
don't.
everybody smells it. And I think the part you're not taking into account is, in some ways, Draymond's been neutered. And so the person who kind of keep the engine running is kind of been isolated because of what happened in the preseason. I don't know if Draymond's found his way back. And the reason
Well,
why
Draymond. No, the thing about Draymond is Draymond's chilling right now. When the playoffs start, you're going to see the dog come
I
back.
don't think you can
Trust me.
turn it on and off like that. I don't think
I
you
don't
can
think
turn
it's
it
no
on and off.
dog. I didn't see a dog on Christmas Day. I saw a guy who is going to be in purple. You know why? Jordan Poole got in a fight. Jordan Poole told me he's going to be in purple next year. You know what that means, don't you? He's going to be in
He's going
Sacramento.
to play for the Lakers.
He told me triple single.
He
You're gonna
probably hoped to be in Sacramento.
You're gonna be in Sacramento.
Sacramento
You're gonna be in purple next year, and then he stilled on him. So that's what happened. That's why he stilled on him. It was the most utmost disrespect for the young man. And then he got kicked out of the game anyway. You know, Jordan Poole played great, but Jordan Poole got issues, man. He got 8 technicals this year. I mean, he's clowning. He's showing out. I mean, he's like, he doesn't claim Milwaukee, but he acting like Six and Keith right now in Milwaukee. You know, 1970, clowning. So yeah, I mean, he's all clean
Jordan
cut now and
himself,
stuff,
man.
looking fresh. But
Yeah,
the Golden Poole I saw in Michigan, that was more than Six and Keith. Now he's looking like the Whitefish Bay Mequon Jordan Poole. You know what I'm saying?
you say he went to the Burbs. He said,
he went to the Burbs straight up.
Well, you catch from Michigan.
Fox
He
Point
said he
Jordan
over there in
Poole.
Bloomfield
Fox
Hills.
Point hot sauce. Fox Point hot sauce is real good. Fox Point hot sauce is real good, man.
He on the other side of 8 Mile for you folks.
Other side,
Other side of 8 Mile.
Yeah.
He get real soft.
And talking that smack and can't back it up. Got whooped.
Yeah, that's a little bit different, man. I that Christmas Day, boy, it and then in the Bucks and the Celtics, did they get a little scrap? But then
they did, they did.
That was the best. That was the best game to beat. Did you see Jason Tatum? Did you see Jason Tatum dunk on Giannis?
Oh yeah, Jason's balling, but that was not a good game, man. I mean, the Bucks looked terrible. I mean, they looked awful. And then Middleton didn't play, so I'm like, what's up with his knee? Middleton didn't play.
Giannis shot the ball twice in the paint.
Yeah, they shut him down. I mean, they got nice with Williams, and they got nice interior defense. They got nice. I mean, the brother that's coaching this year, he's going to get the full-time gig. He's balling. So,
go ahead.
Yeah. I'll say one thing Christmas Day did for me is Christmas Day. It reinforced my mind for my preseason NBA Finals picks. I said I feel real good about the Celtics versus the Warriors. I said the Warriors going to play the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, and the winner that's going to go to the finals. And I 100% still believe that the Warriors versus the Celtics.
I'm not sure about the Warriors. I think the Celtics might hold up there. The Warriors out here playing like Pretty Ricky. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No. They out here like
Celtics Nuggets. That's what I say. Celtics Nuggets right now.
That's gonna be something like Celtics Nuggets.
Yeah.
They hiding in the cut. The Clippers, they beat my Pistons was up
Yeah, but it's street clothes too. Street clothes, PG-13, street
Street clothes.
clotes. Kawhi, please.
Street clothes too.
But the Nuggets and the Warriors gonna be like Ali Frazier.
Mm.
They're both each other's kryptonite. I think stylistically, because the Warriors are the perfect team to exploit the Nuggets' weakness defensively with Jokic and the drop coverage, because the kryptonite for that drop coverage is a quick guard that can hit pull up threes, and the Warriors got two of them. And on the flip side, the Nuggets, the Warriors, their size defensively, with Draymond and Looney, Jokic can be a problem, especially when now that he has Murray back, now he has Michael Porter Jr. back. You can't necessarily put all the resources towards stopping Jokic. So
yeah, Wiseman's got to step up, and I don't think he will. That's why I think they're going to lose.
That's why I didn't name
Wiseman. Well, but I don't think Looney and Draymond are going to be able to deal with Joker. I mean, Wiseman's got to step up. Wiseman's got to step up, man. Step up, get out the G League mess and get out the Women's Protectors program and get out the street clothes and ball like he's supposed to do, like he was supposed to be the number one recruit in the country until he got in trouble in Memphis over some mess that wasn't necessary as far as punishing the young man. So the main thing about it is that he's got to step up, man.
I don't think Wiseman's in the playoff rotation.
Yeah, well then they're gonna lose.
I don't think he's in the playoff rotation.
They better make a trade. They better make a trade for a big guy because with Looney and I'm sorry, we had this conversation about these what I call fall
and
big.
I think you crazy for that.
No, I'm not crazy at all.
No, you said 25
Looney,
years old. You said Looney is too skinny, and he plays 6'9". And he's pretty much leading the NBA in rebounds per 40 minutes.
Yeah, because he only plays 20 minutes a game because he can only stay 20 minutes precisely. Let him play 40 minutes.
Because they like playing Draymond at the 5.
Let him play 40 minutes and see if he's going to do that. Let him play 40 minutes. You proving my point.
They like playing Draymond at the 5 because that's that lineup of depth.
Let him play 40 minutes and see how many rebounds
Have you just started watching the Warriors? This has been the Warriors since 2014.
He said
that's been a key. That's been a key.
The 3 and 12 Warriors in a row, right?
At the 5. And the other minutes they play Looney at the 5. And Looney, you can't be lighting the tail and get 22 rebounds in a key game against Steven Adams in the playoffs.
I never say he was lighting the tail. I just said
yes, you did. You said he's skinny.
I got the skinny.
I got
compared to Joker.
He said he got the receipt.
6'9".
We got a chat box in here. We haven't activated too much, so that the viewers can get the. I think
and light compared to Joker. Joker's 280, man. Come on now.
We weren't even talking about the context of the conversation. We wasn't talking about.
Yeah, I think he's small. I would rather have a James Wiseman. Playing center. Yes, I would. I would rather have James Wiseman play center than Kevin Louis. I'd rather him play 4 and sit triple single down or send him to Sacramento and let him play purple. Let him wear purple.
That is the worst thing you could do. Draymond Green is the best. Well, I'm not gonna say he's the best defender in the league, but he's right in that conversation.
He was past tense. He didn't look that.
What I'll say.
Wait.
Let me make a point about.
I gotta say
where was he on Christmas Day?
Like we didn't just watch him in the playoff guard. Jaylen Brown in the finals. The conference finals,
I'm talking about this year. You always think somebody's gonna flip the switch.
The series before that, he guarded Jaren Jackson Jr. The series before that, he guarded Jokic. So we're talking about one of the most.
Last year.
It's not one of. He
was timid this year. He was timid. He was timid this year.
And then the very next series, he guarded Brunson. Well, who else is doing that?
Again, that's the past. We're gonna see. Father times undefeated.
That was like 5 months ago.
You're young. You understand? Father times undefeated. Father times undefeated. You're young. You understand that?
Past week. That was the past week.
Yeah. You understand that?
That was past week. That was last week. Let me jump in on the Wiseman thing. Where I think they'll get Wiseman to for this year, especially coming back, is if they can get him to give them 15 minutes of just quality time in the playoff. That's all they need, like
They
situational
need
stuff.
20 or
He needs to be able to
25,
get it
or
out.
they lose. They need 20,
He needs
25.
to give them some situational
He
stuff. I
went
think that's
off
really
one game.
important.
When he had like 31 games, he went off one game.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean, again, they're
he's
not.
he's going to be in a rotation. You know, it might be Jokic, that series against Denver might be the series where you really see him do what he needs to do. But he gonna have to give you. You know, I think this year I would
20 to
like see him give you
25, not
15.
15. That ain't enough. 20 to 25.
I went 15. If I get 20, 25, they win it all. If he
I
give me
need
20,
20,
25
25.
quality minutes, then I'm back over there with Darnell. If Wiseman give you 20, 25 quality minutes in the playoffs,
Yeah.
then I'm like, yeah, go
I
stay
don't
coming
see it though.
through.
I don't like the way they're using the young
I think
man.
there's
I
certain
think they're
matchups
too.
where you won't
Steve
see him
Kerr
at
is
all.
too impatient with Kuminga and some of these young cats. I think it brings some upside.
I don't
And he
think he's
keep on
impatient.
he keep on
I
bringing up
think
he
I don't
bring
think
on
he's
bringing up triple
impatient.
single, triple
Wiseman
single.
does.
Keep on giving him ticks. Triple
Yeah,
single.
but I
He
don't think
trade
he's
him
impatient
to
because
Sacramento.
you can have some young guys, but you can't have three of them, right? I think he's trying to balance that out. Like you can have some youth, and he wants to get them to a certain spot, but I don't think he's impatient. But when you got that much potential, you got to manage that. Like it'd be different if you were just dealing with Kuminga, or you were just dealing with, you know what I'm saying, just one of them. But they got three bona fide. If they can get them curated right, they could really make a difference. And each one of them might make a difference in the series. That you got to manage that correctly, especially with the fact you're gonna have Steph out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now they
And
suing him more.
Clay is not is
And Clay's
he
not.
really shows energy. He really shows the injuries right now with
Yeah,
Achilles, and he just is not
Clay
himself.
not filling the gap.
Especially
He's
defensively, he's not
managing.
himself. He looked
Yeah,
Matador. He looked
yeah,
Matador on Christmas Day. He didn't look good at Christmas Day.
But
yeah.
that's why a person that's going to be very important is Dante DiVincenzo. I
He
haven't
balled.
said
He
it.
balled. He
Yeah,
balled. He
yeah.
balled.
He
Dante
could be in there.
balled. Yeah.
Him,
Dante balled. He's
Wiggins,
been there. Yeah. Yeah. Dante balled. Yeah.
him. That's what I'm saying. The rotation is going to be shorter than you think
Yeah,
it is because
yeah.
when it comes to playoff time, you got Steph, you got Poole, Wiggins, Dante DiVincenzo, Klay
Yeah.
Thompson,
And,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Kuminga,
Draymond. Yeah.
and
I think
Draymond,
Dante's security
I
and
think
makes
Kuminga's gonna make the rotation. I think Kuminga's gonna make the
That's eight
rotation.
people.
I think
Dante's
Kuminga's not making the
there in case
rotation.
Poole
Kuminga's
start
not
having
making the
Who's not
rotation.
making the rotation?
Kuminga's not making the rotation, man. No.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He proved
He's
he's making the rotation over Wiseman.
I think if that's the case, they're gonna take an L, dude. They gotta get that. They're gonna take an L. They're gonna take an L.
It depends on
Kuminga's
matchup.
a great. Kuminga needs to change the scenery, man. I think he's just. I think
Kuminga,
again, he
Kuminga
needs to change the scenery,
that's
man.
fine. They're grooming him to be they're grooming him to be their next Andre Iguodala.
Man, he need to be better. He's more talented than Iguodala, man. I mean,
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I think y'all forget how
Iguodala
No,
was
forget
he
Iguodala.
was.
Iguodala was a
Y'all gotta put
phenomenal
some
player. I'm
respect
gonna
on
say
Iggy's
that.
name.
But I'm just saying that
ever make Team
He's
USA?
an Illinois guy like you. You better put some
six.
respect on his name.
Man,
Do you think
Illinois.
I
Like,
put
wait,
respect
what's his
past
name?
when he.
Do you
I be
think
talking about.
Jonathan Kuminga would ever make Team USA?
I think he's got the talent to do so. He's not developing right. I think really the Warriors is a wrong play. He needs to be at a younger club like a SGA and give him the minutes and let him let him prosper. I think his SGA would have not been the player if he had stayed in with the Clippers that he is with OKC, because he's allowed to make mistakes. He's allowed to ball out, and look at him. He's averaging over 30 a game because again, he's not in a situation where they're going to sit him down because of the fact that they can't sit him down because it's like he needs to be in a younger ball club, Kuminga. I think, again, it was a blessing they got him at 7, but, the stretches he spent on the bench last year in the playoffs really concerned me that because it was athleticism, I thought he could have brought something to the table. Now, obviously, they won it, so it really didn't matter all schemes of things, but the bottom line is that they could have even done better with him. And I think it's set up for the future, and you're right, he could be the next Iguodala, but I don't see it
But
right
the
now.
thing I think Golden State does,
I
want to add that point. The thing I think Golden State does well, and I think this is two things that they do better than other patients, and they have a development plan. Like you can tell, even sending Wiseman down, the way they use their G League, like baseball uses uses the way they send players down to develop, is they do it right. So I think they're being patient. The part that's killing them in their part is not these young players, is that you're doing it at a time when Clay's not Clay. You're doing it at a time where Steph is finding himself. Like some of those cornerstones who could get you through those rough moments. And then you got the stuff that happened between Poole, and Draymond that kind of stifled Draymond coming out the door. Like, so those glue guys hold some of these things together, as well. So some of the injuries to the veterans, I think, are are amplifying some of the things that happen with them. But what I appreciate about them is they're patient, right? And they are trying to weave it in. And I think sometimes you got to be that way. And especially if you want to try to do this across generational players, you got to find it. And it's going to be messy sometimes. You know, it's going to be messy. Same way it was with Poole. They sent Poole down. It was messy, but finally it clicked.
But Poole's developed though. I mean, Poole's
Yeah, but
developed.
they had to
Again,
send.
like I
They had
said,
to send.
Poole
But when they sent
took
him
over.
down,
Did you see that brother took over the game, man? Hitting volume threes.
But he went down and people were questioning what he was going to do. They sent him down, just like
No,
they do.
they had a plan with Poole, and like I said, they
But
need a plan.
They got a
They
plan
need to
with
replicate that with Wiseman. They can do it
They
with
were
Poole. They can do it with
patient with
Wiseman.
Poole.
They
Poole
can do
was
it
struggling.
with Wiseman. They can do it with Wiseman. I know he was.
Poole was
They can
struggling
do it
like
with
Wiseman.
Wiseman. They can do it with Wiseman.
That's what I'm saying.
Wiseman's
Yeah,
more talented than Poole.
I'm saying that they got a plan with Kuminga and these guys, and they're very.
Are you sure Wiseman is more talented than Poole?
I think upside, yeah. Upside, yeah. Upside.
I think Wiseman got an outside game.
Yeah.
He can space. I think Wiseman got more to this game.
Wiseman is very talented. I'm not saying he's not.
You're talking about, if you talk about production, of course Poole is better. I'm talking about
I'm talking about pure talent. I'm talking about pure talent. I'm saying
I think
have you seen a guy with Jordan Poole's pull-up game that is as quick? That's that quick.
Yeah, Steph Curry and some other people. He's phenomenal.
Jordan Poole's way faster than Steph Curry.
I like Jordan, but
Jordan's up and down though. Like I said, he's up and down though. Steph ain't be bricking like he did early part of the year.
It's going to be consistent. When he
would earn that money first part of the year, Darnell. You know that he earned it. Yeah. He earned it on Christmas Day, but he got thrown out. Like I said, I'm concerned about the 8 technicals. You can't be a leader and you go mess around and get like 24 technicals this year and mess around and get suspended. He needs to calm that down. He needs to get out of Milwaukee. Obviously, he's going to Milwaukee. He's all angry and stuff and coming back to SF. He needs to stay in SF and chill. That's what he needs to do. Chill at the Fisherman's Wharf.
Hey, well, get
out the third ward and get out the hood and stay in San Fran and chill.
Well, I think that edge is good, especially when Steph is out. You need to
phenomenal. Again, we're not arguing. They've shown. You talk about talent development. D-Will's always talking about talent development. They can develop Wiseman. They're not developing Wiseman, and then they're developing Kuminga, and they need to do that.
Developing him.
No, they're not. Not at the pace they need to be. Not the pace they need to be right now.
Hold up. It was only the Christmas Day game. We got a lot more season. Some of that stuff y'all say is going to be proved out.
And we didn't say a word about Jokic.
I say Jokic your ball. Jokic is the man. That's why I think he's definitely going to beat the Warriors.
Jokic be a Hall of Fame if we stop today. All right,
no doubt.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say this. Some people got cold in their sock on early signing day. Some people came up with some gifts. Some people got some surprises. We got the transfer portal going. We got a lot of activity in college football right now. Darnell, we're going to start with you. Like, who were the early winners and losers? And then Heimer, I'll come to you in early signing period.
Well, the winners, man, you can't look any farther than Alabama. I mean, Nick Saban, they came away with everybody that they wanted. I mean, they came away with 7 5-stars. They came away with 24 stars. And in my opinion, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry, 7 5. Yeah, it's still 7 and 20. But in my opinion, they brought home the best player in the country, and that's Caleb Downs from down there in Mill Creek, Georgia. He plays safety, but also he could play running back, play slot. He could do whatever you wanted to. He was playing some Wildcat quarterback. I think he's the best player in the country. He reminds me a lot of Derwin James. But another team that did well was Oregon. Oregon, they closed late on a lot of guys. They got Mateo Uyunglele, which is the younger brother of DJ Uyunglele. And they got a whole lot of guys to commit, and they also had one that slipped away. Peyton Bowen, he supposedly signed with them on early signing day, and then the next morning he woke up and realized he made a mistake, and then signed with Oklahoma.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. Did the facts not say?
They gave some Chevron shot. They probably gave him shoe.
Yeah.
All-Star doing great right now.
Yeah, they
Those are my two biggest winners.
Yeah. So what about you, Hammer?
Alabama and Georgia, no doubt. It's all about SEC, man. In fact, I talked about my late aunt. The great thing about it, I get to drive through. I stay actually with fans. Check out if you're ever in Tuscaloosa. Check out Dreamland Barbecue.
Mm.
It will melt in your mouth. In Tuscaloosa, amazing. Shout out to my cousin-in-law Donnell Smith, Captain Donnell Smith, international pilot. He's in Hawaii right now. Uh, my lovely cousin Yolanda. Shout for her album. She's singing tonight. So, but the bottom line is that Alabama and Georgia. I mean, it's just great. I didn't know. So first time I driven down to the homeland, I call it, where my mom grew up, and Mary grew up, about, and Helen, other people, and I went to Tuscaloosa. Man, it was amazing. Hear Thai radio in full, cutting up like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's crazy down there, man. Like I said, I want to go. I was hyped up, and just hearing them justify the Bryce Young and Will Anderson, it was just unbelievable. They're like, they're gonna play, and I'm just like, okay, well, they're gonna play, I guess. And these country boys talking that smack, it was entertaining, man. My drive from Mississippi back to Atlanta was just extremely entertaining, man. So yeah, I mean, and then Georgia again, the transfers they got. Kirby talked that smack about we had no transfers last year, but he changed that tune this year.
No, the, Kirby didn't say that they didn't take any transfers. They didn't land any transfers because Kirby talked about it in his press conference a couple weeks ago. He said they asked him about was it a strategic approach for them not to take transfer guys, and he was like, nah, it's not that we didn't take any, we just struck out. That's what he said.
See, I didn't see. I saw the way they were spinning, at least on radio down. I mean, they're just fanatics
Yeah.
down here, man, with college football. They literally have a college football show in Atlanta where this cat does nothing but college football. It's unbelievable. Like, you listen to this and you're like, wow. I mean, this is the college cat. Like I said, I wish I was staying here for the for Chick-fil-A Bowl, but I gotta go back and my lady and things like that. So get back to Wisconsin. I've been away too long. But man, it's just unbelievable down here, man. I gotta go see Mississippi State. I gotta go see, Bama. I gotta go see. Now I was gonna go to that Athens game with Georgia Tech and Georgia. But I had to watch Michigan play. I just had to watch it, so I didn't do it. But no, it's the capital. So yeah, definitely Bama and Georgia. The losers definitely Notre Dame and Ohio State, no doubt about it. They lost. They struck out. Ryan Day is on borrowed time as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, so
All right. So I gotta talk a little bit about this Georgia class before I reply to that last
Yeah.
comment. But Georgia, I forgot. I didn't say Georgia, but Georgia definitely pulled in some really good guys. AJ Harris is a 5-star corner, very fluid hips, had really good feet. Damon Wilson's your classic edge rusher. He's really fast off the edge. You might see him year one, really. Joel Aguero, sorry, the safety out of Lynn, Mass. I spent a lot of time in Lynn, Mass. Back in my college days.
yeah, near
uh,
Berkeley. Is near Berkeley? Okay, yeah,
yeah, it's about 15 minutes away, 15, 20 minutes
yeah,
away. Raylan Wilson, the linebacker. This dude
yeah. You can
is one of
ball.
the fastest linebackers probably to ever hit college football around the 900 meter.
Yeah,
I mean,
sideline to sideline. Hurry, just a beast.
he's
Sideline to
he's out of this
sideline.
world.
Yeah,
Raylan Wilson, and they got Todd Bowles' son, Troy Bowles. He's a really good football player as well.
safety or linebacker? I
He'll
know
get cleaned up. Yeah,
safety or linebacker. Safety, like he's there.
linebacker.
Linebacker. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to add in, I know you're gonna try to make other comments, is like the other part when you think about how successful people are is that they're going to be doing it different ways. And so, some
Yeah,
of it is going to be a mix of how to utilize the transfer portal to, what they do in terms of these first time, from high school to college players. I was looking at 24/7, and, Michigan was ranked in terms of the transfer portal
yeah.
commits they got, 17 for their overall,
Oh, the
first year class, right? But people are building their classes in different ways. which is really it's like when the dust settles, right? To figure out,
Yeah,
where, who's doing what and how they're building their class is really going to be interesting, because the kind of evaluation you would have done just looking at the signing day about what people are going to do has to be tempered a little bit depending on what they do in some of the transfer portals. And some people are going to win in both, right? They're going to do great in both of them. But I'm really trying to calibrate and think that through, more as I'm watching both these things happen at the same time. How are y'all looking at that in terms of as
yeah.
you're
That's
evaluating
where that's
how
where I
people
I
gotta
do?
like those.
that's
Now
where
go first. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's where I gotta hop in with this Ohio State thing because
yeah,
you hear Ohio State fans, everybody they crying because like we didn't take a 5-star defensive end this year. We struck out on DJ's little brother. We struck out on Damon Wilson. That Georgia, Ohio State left for him for a little while, and then Georgia came on strong at the end and picked him up. But they did get a 4-star edge in Joshua Mickens, which is he's really fast edge.
And that ain't
But
good enough for Ohio
but
State. That ain't
really
good enough.
but really one thing to look at with the Ohio State class is they stacked up on some really talented defensive tackles. And when you look at that big matchup, Carl is not only Carl, but everybody. Everybody around here knows the game you got to win if you're at Ohio State is you got to beat Michigan,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta be Michigan. Yeah.
And Michigan, they're downhill running team, a lot of gap scheme stuff. So a really important part of that is who do you have on the inside? Who are those defensive tackles? Who are those linebackers? That's going to fill. And they got a guy in Caden McDonald that once recorded 7 sacks in the game last year down in Georgia.
Yeah, I read about him. Yeah,
They
yeah.
got Jason Moore from the same high school as Chase Young and Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
DeMatha, 6'7", athletic nose, not nose side. He's gonna probably play some 3 technique.
Why are we mentioning basketball players, man?
I don't know why I said Markel Fultz. Oh, because Chase Young and Markel Fultz played together at DeMatha. I don't know why I snuck that in there. But
Bust number one picks in the NBA. Go ahead. Yeah.
Jason Moore is he's gonna be a real athletic.
I've heard about him. Yeah, I've heard about
him
McDonald.
Jason
Definitely, I
Moore,
heard McDonald's really the real
Caden
deal.
McDonald, they're gonna do some damage on the interior of that line.
Yeah.
And they're returning JT Tuamolo next year and Jack Sawyer, so they're gonna be all right. I'll say.
well, we're
They'll
gonna
all
be
right. And
watching.
last year they had a couple 5-star DNs last year with Amari Abor and God damn, what was the other guy's name? I actually can pull that right now. I haven't pulled up. It was Amari Abor and Kenyatta Jackson.
Yeah.
So they'll be fine. Like I said, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's player development. I mean, at the end of the day, these rosters are whatever, but you still have to develop the players,
shut that back in?
which is another part of it.
Yeah.
You have to be able to develop the players, so that's another piece about it. But we'll have another kind of signing kind of period that will come in later, in February or whatever that is, and
this transfer mess. Oh my
transfers
goodness.
will
Sam
settle
Hartman.
in. So there's going to be a lot of movement. We'll be monitoring it. Holidays are bringing some people gifts. Sometimes they try to figure out who been naughty or nice. We all gonna figure out all that. People gonna make decisions, but some of the these teams got what they really needed. Some people are still waiting for that next wave to see if they can pull it all together. And so we'll definitely be tracking that and talking about it here on One Mic.
Sure.
Before we close out, listen aloud for y'all to give folks a final word. I'll start with Hammer and go to myself and Darnell.
Yes, today wasn't a surprise. Excuse me, yesterday wasn't a surprise at all in the great city of Denver. Nathaniel Hackett, who had no business coaching quarterbacks, let alone leading a team, was fired for the Denver Broncos, and they're trying to throw Russell Wilson under the bus. It's a sad situation there right now. There's a lot of accountability that's being shirked just bluntly. I don't hear John Elway's name, one of my favorite Stanford players, but let's be real. They wouldn't have been looking for a damn quarterback if he had drafted right. And so the bottom line is that's why they're in the mess they are, because of the Peyton Lynches he got and Drew Locks, all these clowns he got who can't play football. and he hasn't gotten it right since Peyton Manning, and yet he's been absolved of any responsibility. Also, you have George Payton, who gave away the farm to a brother who I think Russell's hurt. I mean, I think Russell can come back next year. I hear some craziness. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think that they're not going to do it, but the Waltons can afford to do that dead cap hit. It's stupid as far as cap wise, but we talking about the Waltons. Like $161 million for them is a counting error. Okay, it's not. It's 0.3% of their wealth. So Russell Wilson is a counting error to them, but it's just a sad situation. I mean, I was hoping for Russ. Russ is one of my favorite players. Loved him in Wisconsin, loved him in Seattle, but it's just sad to see the brother. And then the last straw was, how the heck you gonna have a backup quarterback come and call out the offensive line, Russell Wilson, during the game? Now we're not talking about in the locker room. We're talking about during the game when you down 51-14. Dude had the chutzpah to come in there and cut up and come after some linemen. That's the thing too, punk linemen. Okay, punk linemen where this cat ain't afraid of linemen. You have a culture problem there. Everybody needs to go. I saw they fired the specialty. Again, I'm not Donald Trump, 1980 Trump about the apprentice and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not a cruel person, but there has to be accountability. When you have the backup quarterback coming in and cutting up and calling people out, he has the drummer. He thinks he can. When you can think you can do that, first of all, and not get beat down, that's a problem. The backup quarterback didn't even hear his name. No, he didn't have a draft party because he didn't have a draft party because that would have been laughter. He had called somebody there a little bit like, please get drug tested. You had no draft party, Brett Whipping. So it's a joke. So again, I'm hoping that the Denver can turn around because they have a proud franchise. And again, it angers me too. Like, they are one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, or in the NFL. Brother Io is his name, and they're gonna pass on him for this washed up special teams guy from Baltimore who Hackett brought in to be a manager. You gotta be kidding me! It's insulting that the brother, one of the best DCs, and you talk about they're putting up numbers with a raggedy offense that has poor time of possession, poor moving the chains. They're on the field half the time, and they're still balling. At the end, they gave up Bradley Chubb, and like I said, it just is unbelievable. The Denver Broncos, dumpster. I heard Mark Schreier this morning cutting up, and he on Twitter. You probably see on Twitter, he's banging people on Twitter. And so that's the thing I have to say is like, man, I just pray for Russell. He's a good brother, but brother, you should stay in Seattle. See, you thought you were going to get something better, and you got something worse. Peace.
hair on the holidays with scorched earth. I'll take that. I just want to, I'm wearing the shirt. Franco, it was a special day on Saturday in Pittsburgh, and just to see, what a great organization looks like, behaves like. The press conference when you had Tomlin there wearing the 32 jersey and just talking about how they set the standard that they get to participate every day. A coach who's had nothing but a winning record and they're still hoping to continue that streak this year, but they all showed up for one night for the great Franco, and we're gonna miss him, but his spirit was definitely alive in that stadium and will always be a part of the great Steeler Nation. And so, shout out to Franco Harris, his family, and all the Steeler Nation. Over to the youngin.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been on here, but since that time, Mike Leach passed. It's a guy. He's one of the legends in coaching. I mean, he's not. He actually hasn't crossed the threshold for the College Football Hall of Fame, but this is a guy who revolutionized the way offense is being played in not only college football but a lot in the high school game. We see that as well. he's influenced minds like Lincoln Riley, Dana Holgerson, and a lot of others. So I just wanted to pay my respects to him. And we had news that just dropped about an hour ago that Bethune Cookman is hiring Ed Reed as their next head coach, and the
HBCUs,
the
baby.
trend that Deion Sanders has set is sticking on. I mean, we had not only Deion, but we had Eddie George, and I forgot where Eddie George is coaching, but
Tennessee State.
He
Tennessee
State,
State.
brother.
Yes, I
Alma
met
mater,
Eddie
my
George
late
at the
mother.
Ohio State clinic,
Oh, you did?
and
Wow.
now Ed Reed's coaching. So
Yep.
we're
That's
just
on,
gonna
brother.
hopefully see some continued progress with the HBCUs and the landscape of their football program. Not only of their football program, but the institutions themselves and the communities that they're in. So, with that being said, it's Darnell. You got the mic.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
both guys for a great one. I'm looking forward. I'll be down there on Bethune Cookman's campus, checking out my niece playing down there. So it'd be great to be down there and see Coach Reed.
When you be
Uh,
down there? When you be down
yeah.
there?
What's that?
When you be down there?
Hopefully here in the next month. Yeah, gonna
Oh,
check.
bet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
see them play a little bit. So uh, hey y'all, check us out, realsportsguys.com. Check us out on Real Sports Guys on all platforms. Until next time, we'll definitely see you on the other side.